Welcome to Illuminati headquarters.
Weird airport.
Just like Kirk, a little older, a little wiser, a little weirder. Well, as you know, Denver International has some strong conspiracy theories.
There's a talking gargoyle at the Denver airport that says,
Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. Denver International Airport.
Looking into the Denver airport, a list of strange occurrences come to light. The airport went $2 billion over budget. There are gargoyle statues all over the airport. There are weird murals all over that seem to paint a future dystopian situation. There's a time capsule with the Freemason symbol engraved into it, and there's even a 30-foot tall blue horse named Lucifer. This is called karmic retribution, which means as long as they tell you what they're doing, it's okay because you didn't do anything to stop it.
Regarding the artwork inside, it does make you think, and it also makes you feel somewhat fearful of the future. It makes some people ask, do they know something that we should know?
According to some, bizarre signs and symbols at the Denver airport are evidence that the New World Order manipulates everything going on in the world. Supposedly, the New World Order is a sinister organization that counts world leaders and the richest of society among its members. This shadowy syndicate is said to be planning global domination. Its very existence may have been inspired by an older secret society called the Illuminati, which was founded in Germany in 1776. People say both the New World Order and the Illuminati had the same mission: to take over the United States. By the 20th century, Adolf Hitler used the phrase New World Order to describe Nazism. President Woodrow Wilson, Winston Churchill, and even George H.W. Bush used it to refer to a global power shift that would usher in a new age of peace. Today, many say the mission of the New World Order is population control and world domination. Frightening prospects that I want to learn more about. So, Greg, before we talk about some of your theories about the Denver airport, tell me about the New World Order. What is it?
Well, what most people think the New World Order is that there's going to be a global takeover. They're going to dissolve all countries, and we'll be under a fascist state.
So how would they implement this plan? You're talking about taking over the whole world or control of the whole world. How would they do that?
Well, there's either going to be economic collapse, global economic collapse, terrorist attack much bigger than the World Trade Center, some kind of emergency, and the military is going to move in under the guise of a humanitarian effort.
But you realize some people are going to look upon these claims as a little crazy.
That's fine.
What you're talking about sounds almost like Nazi fascism.
Well, let me show you something. This is the runway for the Denver International Airport. Now, I want you to tell me your gut reaction to this picture I'm going to show you. Don't think about it, just look at it and tell me what you see.
What I see is 4 runways that are arranged in the 4 directions, and it looks like a swastika.
Right.
You know, Greg, on the internet, they talk about that symbol and that it's a subliminal message from the New World Order. And, you know, this isn't the only one. There are many symbols that certain groups have put out into society, hidden in plain sight, if you will. And we're talking about groups like the Freemasons.
Absolutely. They're a big part of the powers that be. When I say powers that be, New World Order, globalism, the Illuminati, all the same thing. But it's only at the very highest tier of the Freemasons.
You know, I remember when I was at the airport, I saw a Masonic capstone. You know anything about that?
Yeah. I've got this picture right here of it. Down here, it's called the New World Airport Commission, as in the New World Order Airport Commission. This is a secret society doing the capstone at the Denver International Airport.
Okay.
Now, who in the hell wants a secret society doing the capstone at an airport? They've got a secret. Everybody sitting around here, you know, watching Wheel of Fortune, whatever, you know, going out and doing their big screen TV, completely asleep to what's going on, just like in pre-Nazi Germany.
Regarding the artwork inside, it does make you think, and it also makes you feel somewhat fearful of the future. It makes some people ask, do they know something that we should know?
Like the WHO or the saviors lifting people away.
Yeah.
And of course we know that they aren't. I mean, you have your shirt,
yeah.
Which is based off the WHO symbol, but in a more real kind of way, maybe.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's more accurate, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're here to hurt us, not to save us.
Yeah, so we're walking down here from the WHO building towards the UN headquarters here in Geneva, and I noticed this mural here on the wall outside that looked a bit creepy. I kind of got like Denver airport vibes from this. You have the owl, which is usually a cult, using occult symbolism, with the Bohemian Grove, among other things. And I noticed as well this guy here with the WHO symbol, or the snake symbol, carrying people away. Another one here carrying a woman as well. I kind of get like a very creepy feeling that the UN, they're supposed to be like this world government that watches over people, kind of
driving force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
No, you were absolutely right, Peter, to point out the symbolism of the owl, and you mentioned Bohemian Grove. In general, across Freemasonry, it's a very common symbol.
Yeah.
And as you said, also generally in the occult. But no, absolutely, the mural itself does have creepy vibes.
Yeah.
And supposedly, according to the artist and the UN and the press releases surrounding the mural, it was all about showcasing the diversity of the world, and how we had a mission, a collective mission to come to the aid of all peoples across the world. Again, very lofty ideals.
It sounds nice, but it just seems like a cover for a more sinister thing in reality, you know.
Like the UN itself and like the WHO itself, 100%. They use all these positive terms to hide something that is much darker underneath. And this was made in 2009. From what I just saw online. So, you know, looking back, that was only, 14 years ago, but looking back way before, even at the inception of all these organizations, it's always been the case, trying to promote world peace. The fresco, the title of the fresco is actually a fresco for world peace.
Yeah.
And it's always been the same narrative from the start.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if I just saw something that looks, I don't know if I'm seeing it wrong, does that look like a guy with wings, perhaps? Like angel-like, supposed to be on that image right there, perhaps? Like carrying...
Savior
like
type.
Like the WHO or the saviors lifting people away.
Yeah.
And of course we know that they aren't. I mean, you have your shirt, which is based off the WHO symbol, but in a more real kind of way, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's more accurate, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're here to hurt us, not to save us.
Yeah, and you have your website as well, wehurtothers.com.
Yes.
Where people can...
Yeah, wehurtothers.com is specifically about the WHO.
Yeah.
So one of the key institutions of the United Nations, and with my friend Nick Cerruti, who is also based here in Geneva, we wanted to just compile and create a repository where everybody can educate themselves on the WHO, the real side of the WHO.
Which is...
Yeah, so even the League of Nations had a health organization, which is actually the predecessor to the World Health Organization we know today under the UN. And even then, that body was driven by so-called foundations and philanthropic vehicles. I mean, specifically, we're talking about the Rockefeller Foundation here, yeah. And they were the driving force behind the League of Nations health organization back then. I came across certain correspondence, from 1922 between a director of the Rockefeller Foundation International Health Board stating that we needed to recognize the limitations of nation states in dealing with certain health matters of an international nature. So the narrative 101 years ago from that correspondence that I found was exactly the same as the narrative that they're using today, stating that these so-called health emergencies and these so-called pandemics show that there needs to be international coordination and there needs to be a supranational body like the WHO in order to manage, respond, prepare, prevent. They have all these terms, these types of crises. And you look at the WHO documentation today and it's all about this, and we can go into that a bit more during our conversation.
It's one of the most important rooms in the world, and now it's back in its original home. For 3 years, the 15 ambassadors of the Security Council have been meeting in a temporary room, while the actual chamber, first used in 1952, was ripped apart and then rebuilt.
Where we wanted to keep the iconic character of the chambers, because it served so well the purpose of the Security Council for the last 60 years. So we thought we wanted to keep it as it is, because the chamber has really contributed to good discussions, sometimes even good decisions, and maybe sometimes not so good decisions.
The Security Council now have a bright new renovated chamber. The issues that will be discussed here, though, remain as they have for the last 60 years, some of the darkest and most difficult problems in the world.
The painting by Per Krog signifies a new beginning. It's about the phoenix rising out of the ashes.
Notice the giant mural that towers over the Security Council room. The central focus of the UN mural is the phoenix bird that has risen. The phoenix bird is a symbol of Lucifer. Egyptians believed that the phoenix symbolized a god who rose to heaven in the form of a morning star like Lucifer after his fire immolation of death and rebirth. Notice that the phoenix bird is not standing above his own ashes. He is standing above his old skin. Like a snake, he has shed his old skin and is revealing himself as God at the center of the mural. At the top left, there is a church steeple without a cross. The missing cross symbolizes the death of Christianity. Below, a woman receives the rays of the sun god, while the man in front of her plays Pan's flute. To their right are two pyramid symbols and people joined together by a long blue serpent-like cloth. Below the risen phoenix, a sword is driven through a dragon beast. This represents the killing of old beliefs and religions that depicted Lucifer as a beast. The New World religion worships him as beautiful. In this post-apocalyptic mural, the military man standing on the tail of the beast represents worldwide military power. He tips his helmet to the elite, who are climbing out from underground cities where they safely hid from the apocalypse. In the main oval panel above the phoenix bird, a woman is holding flowers. She is the bride in a wedding ceremony. Who are these newlyweds that are kneeling submissively beneath the serpent in the overhead tree? The serpent in human form is tempting the little girl Eve, who accepts the apple. On the right side of the top panel, a reptilian green creature with scaly skin is dancing with a naked woman while musicians entertain him. The general message of the UN's Phoenix Rising mural is that humanity is stepping into a new Luciferic reality. Beneath this disturbingly prophetic mural, world leaders make global decisions that affect the lives of nearly 7 billion people.
According to some, bizarre signs and symbols at the Denver airport are evidence that the New World Order manipulates everything going on in the world. Supposedly, the New World Order is a sinister organization that counts world leaders and the richest of society among its members. This shadowy syndicate is said to be planning global domination. Its very existence may have been inspired by an older secret society called the Illuminati, which was founded in Germany in 1776. People say both the New World Order and the Illuminati had the same mission: to take over the United States. By the 20th century, Adolf Hitler used the phrase New World Order to describe Nazism. President Woodrow Wilson, Winston Churchill, and even George H.W. Bush used it to refer to a global power shift that would usher in a new age of peace. Today, many say the mission of the New World Order is population control and world domination.
Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.